Hello Internet, and welcome back for some more Pokemon TFG action. I am so excited to finally get back in to reviewing some more Pokemon TFG figures. Man, this is so insane because we are looking at another batch of Groundbreaker figures. These are super rare. Now, since some of these are so insanely rare, actually getting like really nice versions of these things is pretty freaking hard to come by. So that's why you might notice right away back here, this Palkia is technically not on a base. We'll get to him later, and you'll see I actually sculpted my own base for my Linoon back there. We will get to those, I'll discuss them later, but for now, let's just truck on forward and start looking at some of these brand new Groundbreaker figures. These are really rare, really amazing, like I said. I'll also quickly go through and tell you some of the prices on these guys, just so you know that you're getting a good deal. Alright, so this first one we're going to take a look at is this Wartortle right here. It's a really cool one. It's kind of funny that they actually made a Wartortle right away in Groundbreakers when there is also a Blastoise. So that's kind of weird. I think it's actually the only Pokemon that has a release of its own evolutionary line in the same set for the TFG. Kind of weird. There might be more that I'm not thinking of at the moment. You guys can let me know in the comments if you figure one of them out. But anyway, I kind of think this is one of the weird ones, and it's kind of strange. So this Wartortle, he's got a kind of an odd sculpt. Honestly, I don't think he looks amazing. He's doing this weird snarl. I really love his fluffy tail. His shell seems to be a little bright, kind of weirdly painted. His water is actually not very exciting. It's just like a flat blue, no transparent colors in there. So that is kind of a bummer, but hey, it's okay. He's actually one of the coolest. He's in one of the coolest sets of Pokemon figures out there, the TFG Groundbreakers. So, you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to pop him off the base just so we can take a look at him. From underneath, you can see there is a little bit of clear plastic in there, but from above, you would really have never known that, unfortunately. So it's kind of a bummer just the way that he was sculpted. He has like a little viciously cool, like he's about to rip somebody apart here. It's pretty awesome. So anyway, like I was saying about the prices, Wartortle is actually not too bad, but it's the problem of actually finding a figure and actually, you know, figuring out, okay, is the seller even willing to sell it for the amount that I just figured out that it was for? So that being said, Wartortle is really hard to find and pretty rare, but the thing is you can still find him for around $25 to $40, so he's not that bad. But, you know, he's still really ridiculous in terms of finding any of the Groundbreakers if you haven't heard that yet. Speaking of ridiculous, the one I am most excited about, and it is newest to this line right here, is this one. Oh, I'm so excited to finally have a Lapras. This is an amazing figure that I actually just very recently got on Pokemon Collectors. And so, man, I'm so excited to have this Lapras. Lapras is a very rare one. If you don't know about generally how rare some of these figures go. By the way, I am making a Pokemon TFG price guide trying to help calculate how much some of these figures should be going for, and Lapras is one of them that tends to go for quite a lot. This is the only one I've ever seen sell, so I can only list it for about what I had to spend, which is somewhere around $100, which is a lot. It's a lot to expect for one of these little bitty figures, but the thing is, it's so amazing. Right when I saw the Groundbreaker sets, there was 3 figures I was like, I really need those if I'm collecting this set. It's the Mewtwo, the Metagross, and the Lapras. And of course, all 3 of those costs a ton of money, but it's okay. Oh man, I finally found them all. I'm so excited to have finally found them all. So this is a really cool figure. As you can see, there's some clear plastic underneath there in the splashing wave, but on the top it is actually painted white for the foam. This is showing kind of a very similar sculpt to the Kyogre, where he's kind of splashing his fin out of the water. You can see there is some clear plastic inside here. Nothing really inside this ear coil, but it is still, I think that might be a little bit of clear on the shell. Nah, it's actually just white paint. It's still amazing. I really love this one. This is one of my favorite ones now for the Groundbreaker set, if not the whole TFG. I don't know, I just really like, sometimes I bring up what kind of colors that they bring into the mix when you position them with the rest of the figures, and I just really like Lapras's color scheme. It's just really nice. So really glad that I finally found a Lapras. It looks amazing. So oh man, I don't want to keep going on because I'm so excited about the Lapras, but go on we shall, because I've got another one yet here. Oh, and by the way, my Lapras is glued down, so I can't unfortunately show you the bottom of it, but as you saw from underneath there, it's clear plastic, so it should be a clear plastic underneath. This next one we got here is a Larva Tar. This one I've actually had for a while, and I was just kind of waiting for the right video series to put him in, because I was trying to basically gather up enough figures so that I can even make another video of Groundbreakers, because these things are so hard to find. So this Larva Tar is actually a really little one of the smallest of the TFGs and or Groundbreakers in general. And let's get the focus back here. He's pretty interesting. I kind of like his little pose. He's, I don't know, just kind of charging forward. Head. It's kind of interesting, actually, now that I turn around here, you can see that joint there where his tail was put in. You can kind of see a little bit inside of him. So mine was put together a little bit funny. He's also got a bit of a birthmark right here. That's actually a bump. I can feel that thing. That's not like a paint mistake. So, interesting, interesting. I also really like how these diamonds are actually sculpted into him, if you could not tell, and underneath and in his eyes. That is all sculpted into him. We'll put this down just so we can get a closer look at Larva Tar. So, really tiny one, like I said, but he is actually still pretty hard to find, though he will pop up. I've seen a couple of them occasionally popping up on eBay now and then, so that's pretty cool. If you're interested in getting a really rare Larva Tar figure, you totally can do that. According to my price guide right now, it looks like he goes for around $35, and that's about an average, so it's kind of hard to say. I'd say I got mine for a little bit less than that, but it was a while ago, so he could have gone up easily. This is what the bottom of his base looks like. As you can see, this one's actually looks almost like a perfect circle inside of there, which is kind of strange, unlike the other Groundbreakers, which have the hexagon shape. But nonetheless, he's still a Groundbreaker figure for sure. I can tell because of that clear base, which is awesome. His eyes are even really cool how they're sculpted in. Man, really cool how even some of the tiny, even common characters in the Groundbreakers and the TFG in general set look so amazing. So cool. Well, we got another Groundbreaker coming on up here. Man, I'm so excited. I had so many of these things to show today. This is awesome. This is a Snubbull. And honestly, I don't really like Snubbull as a Pokemon. I just don't. But it's so cool to even have like a TFG figure of a Pokemon you don't like, and you're like, wow, that's even a really awesome figure. It's, I don't know, maybe it's like all the detail on the little flowers and everything underneath. It just looks really nice, really detailed. The light's actually above us right now, so I don't want to kind of mess it up. So far, only Snubbull's the one that really looked weird with it. But still, standing up on like 1 foot, I don't know if Snubbull's supposed to be like skipping or something, but I don't know. It's such a weird Pokemon. I don't know. But we can take a look at the bottom of it. It is clear. Underneath there, we can see there are some the shapes where the flowers were stuck on top of this clear base. So that's interesting. So if you, I guess someone found a fake Snubbull, you can definitely look it up and see if there is a real one. According to my list right here, Snubbull should cost you around 25 bucks. So he's not too rare, but I actually haven't seen too many of them show up recently. There's a really similar looking figure, the Smoochum, that I would really like to get my hands on. The thing is, it's way rarer than the Snubbull, and man, I would be super excited to actually find that. So like I said, way back there, my Linoon, now that we came to it, he is using a base that I actually just sculpted for him today. It's actually still hardening. So anyway, yeah, he's just kind of resting on it right now. He's not glued or stuck down to it at all. I still have to paint it darker. I really just wanted to leave it unpainted for this video to show you guys that that base is not his official base. So unfortunately, some of the Linoons that we can find are just easier to acquire when they don't have their bases. I don't know why. We just have a lot of them like that, and very few of them actually have that stand. So unfortunately, they're much harder to come across. If you find one with its stand, it should be somewhere around 40 at the very least. Mine, because it was broken, it was sold to me for something really cheap, like 5 bucks. So I was like, awesome, I'm just going to sculpt a rock base. You know, it's just a rock base. It's the Pokemon I'm interested in. So I'm going to pick up, oh man, I'm so worried about this. I'm going to try and pick him up. Oh, come on, Linoon, you can do it. Oh man, he was not cooperating earlier. He kept falling down. Granted, I'm actually going to stick him to it as soon as I have the ability to, but here I'm going to slowly spin him around so you can get a look at, oh, he's starting to go. I was going to say, so you can get a look at this rock base as well as Linoon. So, I'm not the best sculptor, and man, this clay is kind of old, but fortunately it's going to dry rock hard, and it looks like a chunk of concrete right now, which I'm okay with. I mean, I'm mainly looking at the Linoon, and for the longest time, because I had him without a base, he was laying down like this in my collection, which looks horrible, and I really just wanted to stand him up for the longest time, so I'm really glad I'm able to do that. Now, let's take a look in the inside here. If you do find a Linoon without a base, you want to make sure it's real. There is still a little clear plastic peg in there. That is clear inside of him right there. That is a real Groundbreaker Linoon. So I'm going to try and get him to stand back up again, and we'll leave him in the back. There we go. He's going to cooperate for us today. That's nice. All right, so the next one we have to look at is a promo. Now, I know, like I said earlier, this one is technically not on a TFG base, technically not making it a TFG. But Kyoto actually released this Palkia as well as the Dialga figure, like I showed in an earlier video, on these bottle caps. Now, I specifically left him on the bottle cap to show you this because it is the identical figure on top of a bottle cap instead of a TFG base. So I just kind of gave up and got one of these instead for my collection because the Dialga that I got, because the seller kind of tried to trick me into getting the Dialga, was a bottle cap figure anyway. So this way I'll be able to have technically two of the figures and I can just stick him onto a TFG base later if I really want to, which I might. I'm thinking about it. I'm probably going to make a bunch of stickers that actually show what their original attacks were and everything. So if I do end up doing that, I'm going to give him his own base because that'd be pretty amazing. So this is a really cool figure. Just when he came in, his wing parts were off, so these were actually put together when you are assembling the bottle cap figure, and he's also obviously off of his stand. So he's pretty big. He's actually really cool. I really like this figure. Kind of wish that I had him on the original TFG stand, but he's so rare. I've honestly never, ever seen one. Ever. So, I mean, there's like a few pictures that exist of it on the internet, but I was like, you know, I might as well just give up and get the bottle cap so I can actually have something to show and put in my collection, because I've got the Dialga, which is technically a bottle cap, so I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just technically save it. So, awesome, we got another round of Groundbreaker figures. This is so amazing that we're actually getting somewhere in this series. Granted, the next, two, maybe three parts for this set, if I can actually finish Groundbreakers, are going to be insanely rare. So hopefully we can actually get to that point. Leave a message down in the comments if you guys have any of the figures that I have been looking for or have not shown thus far. Let me know and we can probably work out a trade or something like that. I don't know. So either way, thank you all so much for watching. Remember to like the videos and subscribe for more, and I will see you all in the next Pokemon TFG video. Bye!